Oh, are we going to do it? Are we going to get on top of it? I think we are. Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I have been putting off making this video for well over a week. I've got such a long list of things that I really want to get through, and you know when the list builds up and then the thought of actually starting feels more and more overwhelming? That's kind of the place that I've got myself to. So I thought today we could hopefully help to motivate each other and just power through loads and loads and loads of things and go into this year feeling a little bit better. I always feel like January is quite a mentally quite a good time to do these kind of resets because you are in a fairly fresh frame of mind, or at least hopefully we will be after doing this. But I've got loads of plant related things that I've been putting off. I've got lots of cleaning, lots of organising. I've got watermarks on my floor from plants that I want to sort out. And I've just got lots of things that, yeah, I just need to do. So that is the plan for today's video. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learned over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And yeah, as I say, I absolutely encourage you to do things along with me this morning if you've got household stuff or planty things or literally anything that you've been putting off. I find it's always so much easier when you feel like you're doing it with someone else. So let's do this together. But yes, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So I thought I would just start off by taking you through my to-do list for today. I'm starting this video nice and early, so I'm hoping I can just use my time really well and power through everything. Hello, baby. But the first thing on the list is a little bit random. I've just put mayo floor, and basically I've got wooden floors in my flat, and over my time of living here, partly because it has been leaking slightly, but also mainly because of plants, I have got quite a few watermarks on my floor. I've got marks where I've put like wet pots down and they've left rings, and then areas where like my plants have gutated, is that the right way of putting it? Areas where guttation has occurred and dripped onto the floors. And I have tried an area where I like sanded back the floor and I revarnished it, and it worked really well, but it was quite a bit of effort. And a couple of you in the comments have said that mayonnaise works really well. I've never heard of this and I've never tried it, but I thought I would try it today and see if it works, because if it does, God, that is going to be a time saver. And then the next like cleaning thing that I've got on the list is getting rid of the mold around my windows over the last few months. I think just because the temperatures fluctuated so much and condensation and all that sort of stuff, I have got horrible black mold around my windows. It's not nice to look at, and to be honest, I wasn't aware it was getting quite this bad because I've had plants in the windows. So I'm going to get all of the plants out. I've got probably about 100 plants by the window. I'm going to pull all of them out. I'm going to clean that area. I'm going to probably, seeing as I'm doing that, have a bit of a clean and a reorganize of those plant shelves. Maybe have a bit of a mix up of how I'm growing my plants. Just use it as an opportunity as well to just give my plants a really good check over and see if there's anything like, I don't know, anything that needs addressing, and put that on a list of things to do, another to-do list. And then also, while I've got everything away from the windows, I really want to try and get outside to my balcony, because I've said it in my recent videos, but basically when the builders took the scaffolding down that was here recently, they left a load of cladding like pushed up against my doors, meaning that I can't get out onto my balcony. I've got plants out there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6, oh my God, 6 houseplants out there, all of which are, I mean, some of them I don't think there is any bringing them back, but all of them are suffering. As you can probably see, it has snowed this morning, so they've been out there in below freezing temperatures for way too long, and I just haven't been able to get to them. But I did have a bit of a jiggle of the door last night, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I think if I sat down and kind of pushed those planks, maybe I would be able to get out there. So that is what I would like to try and do. And if I can get out there, I just want to assess the damage and see if there's things that are savable. If I need to do some rehabbing, maybe start that today as well. Because, oh my God, I've got ones like my big yucca plant out there and things that are just making me really sad. So yeah, I'd like to save those plants if possible. Then I've got a load of soil that arrived before Christmas, really nice soil from a company that I haven't tried before, so I'm really excited about that. But I thought I would use today to just kind of organise everything, get all of my boxes in my cupboard of chaos sorted out. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a full reorganise of the cupboard of chaos, nor do I really want to be honest. I know that's the sort of thing that probably would make me feel much better, but I'm also just like, oh, I'm managing to make it work. It's not as chaotic as it once was, so we will evaluate that when we get to it. But yeah, organise my soil. And then my big Monstera deliciosa has been doing weird things over the Christmas period. Again, I know I mentioned this the other day, but some of its lower leaves have just started to yellow and turn, which is very out of character for the plant. And although I don't really have the means to do like a massive repot, because I don't think I've actually got pots that are much bigger than the one that it's in, I do think I should just get it out, check its roots, and make sure everything is okay so it doesn't get any worse. So yeah, I feel like all of that is probably going to take me most of the morning. And if then I do manage to get balcony plants in, then as I say, maybe I'll do some more plant rehabbing. We'll see where it takes us after that, but those are the main things. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the mayonnaise on the floor thing. In fact, before I do that, I should probably move all the plants back from the window. Okay, I lied. That's what I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna get all of the plants out of the window space, and then we can put some mayonnaise on the floors. Oh my God, I've got a lot of plants. Okay, so the window space is pretty much cleared. I've left that one there just because it's kind of tendriling around the shelves and I'm like, I can just be careful when I move it. But now that I have moved all the plants, you can see so clearly. God, I don't know why, because it's so sunny, the camera is like burning out. But yeah, that is all mold around the bottom of all of the door frames. And yeah, again, like I think because it's so sunny you can't see it as well, but like look at that, I've got big watermarks on the floor. But you guys, this is actually crazy. All of my plants, like there's not space to see in here now. This is actually insane. Every single side is just covered. Obviously it's not practical, but you know what? It's been quite fun kind of getting them all out, because a lot of the time I'll get them out individually to water, but very rarely do I ever feel like they're like looking at me, if that makes sense, because they're turned to face the window. These are all of the ones that I have in my window shelves. So yeah, I don't properly get the chance to look at them, and this is quite nice. I'm really excited for the point where I can like, I don't know, have a planty setup where I can just like stand back and look at my plants and see their faces a little bit more instead of just like seeing their backs turned to the window. So yeah, I feel like it's just allowing me to be able to walk around and see them in a new light. And oh my god, they are so beautiful. I decided to hang my monstera dubia there just for the time being. I haven't taken all of my hanging plants out the window, but those ones are just like more practical, seeing as I'm going to be manoeuvring in that area quite a bit. But yeah, just kind of giving you a little walk around and showing you what it is currently looking like in here. God, it's a wee bit crazy. But yeah, okay, so now I'm gonna pull those shelves back. To be honest, I don't really know where I'm gonna put them. I think I might just pull them back so that I can get to that area, give it all a bit of a sweep and a hoover. And then maybe before I start cleaning, I will try some of the mayonnaise stuff, just to see if it's gonna work, and then I can be letting it do its magic as I clean. God, I have just swept up so much dirt and I haven't even hoovered yet. Okay, so time for the mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is actually probably, I was gonna say, the only food I don't like. I'm not a massive mayo fan, so I bought some specifically for this. And also I'm aware that it is, as I say, it's so bright today that it's kind of burning the camera out. So I've taken some clips on my phone so that you can see the areas that I'm gonna treat. I'm just gonna try, just in the event that this like does something weird to the floor, I don't think it will, but I'm just gonna try doing a couple of patches to start with. Then I'm gonna attempt to get the balcony doors open and clean these windows. And if it works, I will come back and literally do the whole floor. So from what I have researched online, it's very simple. You just get some mayo. I just got the standard, I think, full fat stuff. And you just put it on some kitchen roll, and then you put the kitchen roll, like a blob of it on the kitchen roll, and then you put the kitchen roll on the bit that you're trying to treat. I've got a couple of patches of watermark on my floor that have actually kind of gone black, and I believe those, oh my God, that was a strange sound. I believe, oh my God. Right, let's do this first. Yeah, nice dollop. I believe those bits will need to actually be sanded back and revarnished, which is fine. I'm happy to do a few bits. I'm not saying I'm going to be doing them today, but I'm happy to do a few bits here and there. I just didn't want to have to do the whole floor if I could possibly help it. So, as I say, I'm going to put some footage in from my phone so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. But let's try it on this watermark just here. So I've got my mayo, and I'm just going to kind of smush it onto that bit. Yeah. And then in fact, you know what, let's try this circular one as well, because this is quite a big ring from a pot. Let's do the same thing there, but I'm going to just get the mayo and put it on the floor so I can kind of aim a bit better first. And then, yeah, hopefully when I come back to it, it will be, I think it's meant to like absorb the water that's there. I mean, these watermarks have been here for months, so they're not like brand new, so I don't know if maybe it would work better if you're doing them on new marks. But yeah, it's worth a try anyway. Right, I'm going to leave those two patches, and I'm going to go get, I was going to say go get a stick to poke the boards with, but I've just blocked all the cupboards with plants. I'm going to just try and shove these boards out of the way so that I can maybe get to my balcony plants. I'm improvising and I'm going to try and poke them out of the way with a wooden spoon. goodness. I've done it, we're out. Oh, air. Very cold there, but it's quite nice because I am sweating. Okay, so let's assess the damage. Oh God. Okay, let's start with the big one. My yucca plant, actually, you know what? Considering it has been snowed on like 5 times and frozen solid several times, it's actually looking okay. I think just looking at the top of the plant, the foliage, I think it will be more than okay. The one bit, oh God, like look, even everything's just frozen out here. The one bit that I am concerned about is that it's in a pot with no drainage, and for the last 3 months this has just been filling up with water, and it has also frozen solid several times recently. So honestly, if its roots are fine, I will be amazed, absolutely amazed. But yeah, this is very encouraging indeed. I've got 2 jade plants here, both of which are very much goners. Like, although it is sad, especially this one here, because this was my friend's that he left for me. I have got cuttings of both of these jades, and I've got so many jade plants. So yeah, not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Oh, so the specific outdoor rug I bought for the balcony is frozen solid. And then coming over here, so I'm in my slippers, this is not the best idea. But coming over here, I've got an aloe vera, which to be honest is looking way better than I thought it would be. Obviously there's some, in fact, that is so squishy. Maybe it doesn't look fine, but it has got, in fact, that feels all right. It has got some healthy new growth. Again, guys, I'm gonna have to put some clips in somewhere where you can't see this very well. The thing that I was really, really sad about, and I think may now be a goner, is this bottom bit of my Alocasia portadora. And Alocasia does not like being outside in any British wintertime, but particularly when it has been so snowy. You know what though? The base of the plant feels really firm. So I kind of feel like maybe this is savable. Oh my God, I did not think it would be. Wait for the siren to go. Yeah, the last thing I've got out here is a Hoya, which, yeah, is just not looking great. In fact, in the burnt out light, it looks okay, but it is floppy, and I think it's probably a goner. But the two, I've got to be honest, the two that I really care about were the Alocasia portadora and the yucca, and the fact that I think they might be savable makes me very happy. So I'm gonna carefully go back inside. I'm gonna do the window, do the first window, check on the mayo, and then yeah, carry on. But I will bring some of those plants in today. I've just filled a bowl with warm soapy water. I've just used dish soap for this. And again, this is a tip from you guys. Some of you have said that white vinegar is really, really good at getting rid of mold. I've got white wine vinegar, and I don't know, I guess that's the same thing. I don't really know. I also am not sure how much I'm meant to add, but I'm just gonna do a good swish of it. And yeah, it's mainly, as I say, the bottom of the windows. It's really gross, and I know black mold is so unhealthy to have in your home as well, so it's good that I'm doing it. I should probably be wearing masks and gloves and stuff like that now. Please don't take what I'm doing as like the right way. I'm just jumping there and getting it done. But yeah, I'm just gonna do these 2 windows, and then I'm gonna check on the floor and see if it's worked. Oh my goodness, that looks a million times better. That is like squeaky clean. I cannot believe how well that works, because I I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried I'd like wrecked the windows. That looks amazing, and that was not that difficult to do either. Like, I'm gonna close this window. I'm gonna just take a shot so you can see them next to each other. It is like a whole new window, and that took me all of 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna do the exact same thing to this one. And then I really also want to empty out all that excess water in the pot of my yucca before I do anything else, just to give it time to properly drain out there before I bring it indoors. And I just had to text my downstairs neighbour because whenever I water anything on the balcony, it goes straight down onto his balcony. And I found that out the hard way when I watered my bird of paradise the first summer that I'd lived here. I don't know if I actually got him. I think I did get him. But yeah, ever since then I felt so bad. I was like, God, I just need to check. He was very nice about it, but... So yeah, I have just sent him a message to make sure I'm not going to pour icy cold water on him. Right, so that's those two windows nice and clean. I will do the other ones in a moment. I just want to see if the mayonnaise has worked. So this is moment of truth. Let's in fact bring you really close so you can see well. So I think now you just kind of like wipe it and polish it off. Oh God, it feels disgusting. Okay, so the first one looks better. It looks better, but it's not completely gone. Let's have a look and see how the actual ring one did. Oh my God, I feel like I've used way too much mayo for this. Maybe next time, if I do it again, I will be a bit more conservative in my approach. So to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell. I think maybe because the floor in this area wasn't that, like it wasn't newly varnished or anything. There's some bits that look better, and there's other bits that just look a bit darker, and I guess that's just the oil from the mayo. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel like if it was just like a little water ring on like a tabletop or something, then that would probably work quite well. But maybe for what I need it for, I need something a little bit more intense. For example, there's actually a water ring just next to that one that maybe I should have tried it on that isn't quite as heavy. On camera, it actually does make quite a difference. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit better than it was. But what I'm gonna do, seeing as I've set myself the task of fixing the floor today before I put everything back, I'm just gonna quickly look up some other things that I could try, and then I can maybe leave some other things on the floor whilst I finish cleaning the windows, and we can actually figure it out. So yeah, I'm not ruling mayonnaise out completely. I just would like to keep exploring my options. Okay, one of the other things that's coming up is, again, vinegar. It says especially for deeper stains and marks, and I kind of feel like maybe that's what I've got on this floor. I don't think they're just like surface stains. Yeah, it says apply equal parts vinegar and olive oil. Vinegar helps to lift the stains while olive oil olive oil conditions the wood. Okay, cool. Let's try that next. If it doesn't work, then maybe I will go away and have a play about some things off camera and come back to you, but I'm really hoping maybe this will work. I've got vinegar right here already. I'm so prepared. Oh, you know what? It could just be because the wood is now wet, but I feel like that might have worked quite well. I'm gonna just do this area below it as well. As I say, I think some of these ones might be a bit too deep and it might not work, but then at least I can let it dry out and come back to it and see how it's looking. Oh my God, you guys, I've just got classically distracted and I kept scrubbing the floor. So I've kind of pretty much scrubbed all of this section, but oh my goodness, it has worked really, really well. Let me spin you around. So yeah, I am highly aware that this is not perfect and there are still some bits that need probably a bit more of like an intensive maybe sand back, but how much better does that look? Like, apart from the really kind of like intense rings there that, as I say, probably do need a sand back and a revarnish, if you weren't really looking for it, I don't think you'd be able to tell. So yeah, if you're just looking to like fix a little spot of damp, I would personally suggest the oil and vinegar. As I say, this isn't a finished product. I will go back and continue to work on this area at some point. But for the time being, I'm really happy with that. I feel like it's also, with the olive oil, just given the floor like an extra little coating. So hopefully, if I'm very careful now, it won't get any worse. I've also moved pretty much all of my alocasias over here now. So any guttation is just caught on this unit, which, although it looks like wood, is not actually wood. So it doesn't stain at all. So yeah, oh my goodness, mission kind of accomplished. Right, back to the final two very dirty windows. Had a text from my downstairs neighbour saying that he won't be using his balcony until this evening. So that means I can now empty the pot of my yucca. Oh my God, I'm actually out of breath. This is crazy, honestly. This might not seem like a workout, but it really is. And I'm really impressed with myself so far. If you were doing stuff as well, I hope it's going well. I might actually take a 5-minute break in a minute. The only thing is, if I take a break, I often then like get into break mode and I don't start again. So maybe I'll power through. I don't know. I'm gonna empty out my yuccas pot first. Okay, so I've emptied it out. I'm gonna just leave it out there for a couple of hours to drain as much as possible, because although the plant actually looks remarkably healthy considering it's been out there for so long, I smelt stagnant water when I poured that away, making me think that the roots are probably not in the best state. Honestly, I don't know how this plant is still going. But yeah, I'm gonna let it drain through for a little bit and carry on, and then we can come back to it and see how it looks. So I guess the next logical thing to do would be to get the plants back onto their shelves in the window. Obviously, it makes me think, maybe should I bring the yucca in now? Because I was gonna say then I'm gonna have to try and squidge the yucca through. You know what I'll do? I will put my yucca plant in a plastic carrier bag and I will take it through to the bathroom, and then it can drain through there. I can refill my window space with plants and make it look lovely, have a bit of a rearrange, a reorganize, and then later I can come to my yucca without having to disrupt everything I've done. So yeah, cool, gonna do that. Oh my God, it's so heavy. Shake it in case it's got any spiders or anything. Oh God, Yoli's very alarmed. Sorry, girl. I didn't get as far as the bathroom. I just took it to the hallway and we can deal with it later. But the one thing I did notice is at the bottom of the plant, the roots that were poking through looked just like full, pale, healthy roots. Like, honestly, I know I keep saying it, but I will be absolutely amazed if the plant is just fine. I know it's a hardy plant, but yeah, oh my goodness, honestly, this area here feels a million times better. It, like, already I feel motivated to carry on because it feels so good. So, right, the yucca's in from the balcony, meaning that I can get everything back into its positions. As I say, I'm not sure when I talk about a rearrange, I don't necessarily want to like massively mix things up because I think there's only so much I can do with the window space I've got here. But I don't know, I would just like to try and make things feel like I'm using the space effectively. I think because I haven't had a rearrange for about maybe 8 months in this spot here, if not longer, it's just become a little bit like practical, just shove stuff in gaps, and I think I could be doing it better. So yeah, just gonna have a lot of water and then we can get everything back into its spots. I'm gonna add some more vinegar to water as well because apparently I love cleaning with vinegar now. Also, I've precariously balanced the tripod by Yoli's bed, so I'm hoping it doesn't get knocked. But what I do with my window shelves, I've got these like, I think they're just like acetate sheeting or like thin plastic sheeting that I put on top so that plants don't like fall down the gaps. As you can tell, they are pretty dirty, so I thought as I put them back on the shelves, I would just give them a wipe down, and vinegar seems to be doing the job today, so that's what I've gone for. just found spider mites on my Maranta lemon lime, which is really annoying, but good job. I kind of am giving everything a really good look over, and now's the time to actually deal with it. So I'm going to put this one through in the bathroom and we can come back to it later. So the dilemma I'm in now is that I have filled this space pretty well. I've got my plants back in positions that I'm really, really happy with. I've also got space to be able to move through here, which is lovely. It means I can get to things nice and easily. However, there's still loads of plants left and this just makes me realise how much I really do need more space. I know I keep saying it, but yeah, I'm now just at the point where I'm like, I'm gonna have to overcrowd it again in order to make it work, because if I spin you round, obviously I haven't put a lot of my hanging plants back in the window and I am just gonna have to put them back there. I mean, I do love the look of them there, but like, there's also nowhere else for them to go. But I just feel like, also, my gimbal is doing a weird shaky thing and I'm not sure why. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I feel like all of the spacing of my plants now is really good. I feel like I can really see everything. I can kind of get a sense of how things are doing without it just being shoved on a shelf. Also, oh my goodness, just look how neat and clean it all looks. It looks lovely. I really want to try and keep it like this. But yeah, as I say, this space here is so useful to be able to actually get to my plants, because otherwise, on a daily basis, and this is what I'm doing at the moment, I'm having to move like 6 plants out of the way if I want to get to those shelves. And a lot of the time it can mean that plants over there get a little bit neglected because it's so much effort to get to them. But yeah, I've still got like my massive Dieffenbachia over there, which typically lives just there. And I love the look of it there, but it's not that practical. So yeah, I've got a fair amount. I'm thinking what I will probably do is everything prop box related, because I've got some prop boxes here and I've also got some prop boxes down there. I think everything prop box related I can probably find space for in the bedroom. The bedroom is utter chaos at the moment, but I think I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that for the time being it's gonna remain utter chaos if I want this space to feel organised. Because yeah, it's just, as I say, so lovely to be able to actually see my plants individually instead of just like seeing them as a group. Oh my god, also I've just noticed things like not currently monstera dubia, but the other section, the bottom section of my monstera dubia, which is starting to put out some growth points, which is exciting. That one really needs the light of this room. However, it's such a big pot, it takes up so much space, I kind of feel like maybe that's going to be a bedroom plant as well. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a reshuffle, and I guess I can just come back to things once I've lived with them for a little while and figure things out. I often find that like when I've had a rearrange, like a few weeks later I'll have another rearrange and it will all feel better. So maybe for the time being, I'll just put things back to the best of my ability and transfer some stuff next door. Oh, hello, pretty girl. Look at that pretty girl being so good with all the rearranging going on. Yeah, maybe I will transfer some stuff next door. And then, yeah, I mean, I've got no choice really. It's what I've got to do. Okay, let's get everything back here for now. And then we can move on, because I feel like I've spent enough time in this area and it was like the first thing on my list. So for the time being, I've got all of the plants back in their positions reasonably. I've still got a few here that are without homes, but those ones on the table are the only ones that haven't got places now. So maybe they'll be bedroom plants. Maybe I will just need to kind of like squidge them up against the window again for a while. I don't know. Like, I'd really like to try and keep it a little bit clearer. But I actually just brought one over to show you. This is my Anthurium Regal Cross Blue Bessier. And I heard something that I believe, I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it was Amy from Perky Plants said on Instagram just before Christmas, maybe a few months ago. Anyway, I read it and I was like, oh, interesting. And it was about yellowing leaves. And I know I have always very much been taught and told by people in the plant community that when you've got a yellowing leaf, chop it back, let the plant conserve its energy, don't let it waste energy on trying to save growth. However, I heard a really interesting theory that, and in fact this might be science, I need to do some digging, but I just thought I would tell you, that when a plant starts to lose its leaf and go yellow, it's actually passing the nutrients from that leaf back into the rest of the plant. And as I say, scientifically, I don't know the ins and outs of this, so if any of you know more, please let me know in the comments. I'd be fascinated. But the theory that kind of linked it for me is that, and I'm sure I've spoken about this on my channel before, is that when trees die, basically because underground mycelium networks connect like absolutely everything, when a tree starts to die, it will be able to pass all of its nutrients to the surrounding trees. But the most amazing thing about it is that it can actually detect, like let's say it's an oak tree, for example, it can actually detect which trees it produced, like which were acorns that tree dropped and it then sprouted. It can like detect its offspring and it can prioritize them in giving them the nutrients first. And when I first heard that, it absolutely blew my mind. So I'm kind of thinking same principle, maybe the same thing applies. So I have stopped chopping back my yellowing leaves for the time being, and I'm going to see if that equals maybe more growth or like healthier growth that is there existing. I will do some more research into this and I'll come back to you guys and I'll let you know. But as I say, if anybody does know more, please do let me know. So what's the next thing on my list? I'm going to put this back with the homeless plants for the time being. So we have mayonnaise to the floor. We have then olive oil to the floor, which was not on the list. Clean mould, organised plant shelves, get balcony plants inside. I know I've only got the yucca inside for the time being. My Alocasia portadora, yes, I can get it inside as well. Honestly, at this stage, I'm like, one more night is not going to kill these plants. It's not. Like, they have been outside for months. So if they're gone, basically. Organised soil. Okay, what I'm kind of thinking is if I do all of my kind of organising-y bits today, like cleaning, organising, then I can maybe make this into a 2-day video. I can just keep going into tomorrow and I can do all of the things that I want to do to my plants tomorrow. Like, for example, deal with my big Monstera deliciosa, deal with my yucca plant, maybe bring some more plants, maybe 2, in from the balcony and deal with them. Just because I'm not sure how long I've managed to edit this video down to, but I'm starting to get a little bit knackered and I still haven't done the dog walk yet. So I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go make a cup of coffee, organise this soil, and then, yeah, see where we're at. So I have rather a lot of soil here. So this is it's quite exciting. It's a soil brand I've never tried before. This is from a company called Botanica. And they very kindly reached out to me last year and they just said, would you like to try some of our stuff? And they gave me a voucher to be able to just get some bits. So if you're watching Botanica, thank you so much. I was particularly excited that I could get orchid bark because I know here in the UK, I don't know why, there's a real shortage of it at the moment, and everything I buy is sustainably sourced and all that sort of stuff. I usually use Soil Ninja, they're my go-to company. But yeah, even they haven't been able to get it recently, so I fully stocked up on orchid bark. I can't even remember everything I got now, but I got some anthurium mix, and obviously I haven't used it yet, but just looking at the mix, it looks really lovely. It looks light, it looks airy. Yeah, it looks like really good stuff. And although I've never used them before, I was having a look at their reviews and they've got fantastic reviews. So, oh good girl, I don't know if you heard that. So what I was thinking is some of the things here I would like to transfer into Cupboard of Chaos. I would like to transfer into my boxes that I've got here. I set up boxes instead of just trying to pile bags into here at the beginning of last year, I think. And oh my God, it has made my life so much easier. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. Sometimes I can have ideas, and I don't know if this is just like ADHD brain, but like I can have ideas and I'll know that they're good ideas, but then actually putting them into practice is really, really difficult, so I just won't do it for ages. But yeah, so that's how much bark I currently have left, so I'm absolutely going to refill what I've got here. And I know lots of you, well, I mean, I often get questions about like certain soil mixes for certain plants, and like, I was trying to answer this in a comment to someone the other day, and I don't have like a specific go-to mix for anything really. As a general rule of thumb, nowadays I typically do alocasia in semi-hydro. But personally at the moment I'm on the whole preferring like a chunky semi-hydro mix, something that's a bit bigger. That's just personal preference, and also I think when you're dealing with plants that have quite like spindly root systems, sometimes having something that is just that little bit chunkier just allows for extra aeration and means that they're less likely to rot. The anthurium mix that I ordered from Botanica, let's just have a look and see what's in it. Unless I'm being really stupid, it doesn't have the components in English, but there's, oh God, I want to say Dutch. So I think what this says is a cocoa fibre, lamprey compost, I think that's like worm castings, vermiculite, charbon active, makes me think activated charcoal. Cocoa core, oh my God, why am I trying to translate this? Basically, what I was going to say is all of the things in a chunky anthurium mix are my go-to ingredients if I don't know a plant particularly well, or I want to just create something really like chunky and airy. So although I also got some of their like base mix, I got a big bag of it. Typically, if I'm not quite sure what a plant is going to like, I will go in with something like an anthurium mix, something with all of those components that I just said in it. So yeah, like I think it's just like, obviously there's certain types of plant like African violets and stuff like that that will require kind of more of like specific pH, they'll have more specific pH requirements, but on the whole, yeah, that is what I go to. Also, I was going to say, me and Ross have, what have I ordered? Oh, I got lava gravel. Why did I get lava gravel? I got this for a specific reason and I can't remember why now. But yeah, me and Ross have got a shelf in the bedroom that is right by his like office space, his working space, where we just keep, well, where I just keep like backup soils and stuff like that won't fit in the cupboard, in the attempt to try and not make the Cupboard of Chaos too chaotic. And I don't know if you can see, but at the moment, although it's never going to be perfect, it's actually like relatively organised. I've got all my nursery pots in one space. I've got, okay, granted they are very messy, but I've got all my like propagation containers. I've got my ceramic pots and pots with no drainage, like pot covers. So I feel like there's a bit of organisation in there, and I am not prepared to redo the whole cupboard again, because that is, I don't know, it's just more than I feel I need to do at the moment. It's not getting me down. But yeah, what I'm thinking is if I get all of this sorted now, then get Yoli out for her walk, I can kind of turn this video into like a bit of a vlog. I will take you out with Yols. Bless her, she's falling asleep. I'll take you out with Yoli this afternoon. You can hang out with me and Ross tonight a little bit, and then tomorrow, also by all means skip over that if you're just here for plants, but then tomorrow we can crack on with planty things. And as I say, I could do it as 2 separate videos, but I think now that I'm on a roll, let's just power through. Cool. Okay, that's orchid bark. What else have we got? I'm also excited to try out this soil tomorrow. Oh! Oh God, that's the worst time for someone to be at the door. Oh dear. Oh, and I have a feeling that what's just arrived may in fact be plant related as well, so I may as well open it now. But yeah, what I was going to say about the soil is that I'm just going to, I think, put the base mix in with the Soil Ninja base mix. I think they're pretty similar, to be honest. Is this what I think it is? Oh, it is. So I've ordered, this is also not like massively exciting, but I just thought, seeing as we're doing this kind of video, and this is from a company called Grow Gang, and I have talked about them before because they very kindly sent me a grow light a little while ago, and I absolutely love their grow light. It's amazing. But what I wanted to get this time was, I was tempted to get another bulb as well, but I just went with the fitting. I wanted to get a fitting like this one that I could adjust, because I've got one of these ones from them already and it's really, really good. Just because I'm trying to get a little bit more light onto my bird of paradise, which I'll spin the camera around so you can see. Yeah, so my big bird of paradise over there in the corner, and it might look like it's got good light on it now. That was a very DIY and probably not very fire safe way that I played about with some stuff the other day. So yeah, I was like, that's very much a temporary measure. I just wanted to know whether or not it would kind of work. So now I've got one of those fittings, I can, again, probably install that either later today or tomorrow and get it looking a bit neater and also just get it a little bit safer. So yeah, I will put that down there and come back to it. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I do have a Grow Gang discount code, so I'll link it down in the description box below. So if you need any grow lights or anything like that, then I would highly recommend. I think they're brilliant. But yeah, right, base mix. So while it's still light, I think now is a good time to get Yoli out for her walk. Bless her, she has been so good this morning. She usually absolutely hates when I do any kind of rearranging, so I'm not going to complain about the fact that she's not in her bed because she has been such a good girl. But yeah, by the looks of it, it's still quite snowy out there, so I'm going to just get her out for a quick runabout and then come back and see how I'm feeling and see what we do next, because I don't know about you, I'm knackered. Do you want to give a walk, please? Oh. Come on then, sweetheart. Careful, because there's things about, I know it's exciting. Come on. Oh my God. find the massive yucca. Go on then. It's cold and I didn't bring a coat. I thought I'd be warm because I was warm inside, and I was wrong. Oh, we've just got back from a very cold dog walk and dried Yoli off because she was caked in mud. And I didn't film much when I was out and about just because there was black ice everywhere, and I didn't realise until I started walking down the road and I was like, God, this is like an accident waiting to happen. But I'm gonna make a very warm cup of tea and try and warm myself up because my fingers are like ice. And then I'm gonna be very boring and just do some admin editing things that I need to get on with until Ross gets home because he's out at the office today. And then we'll probably stop for the evening and chill for a bit, and then, yeah, carry on with planty things in the morning. Sit down, Yuli. Good morning. It is now the next day. I didn't get around to vlogging much last night. Ross has just started a new job and he just had a very stressful day, and so he got home and we ate lots of cheese and then got a fairly early night. So I haven't had the chance to do any more organising or anything like that. I've still got loads of plants behind me that haven't yet got homes. But I thought this morning we could just focus on the ones that I set out to tackle yesterday. So I think I'm going to start with my monstera. I feel a little bit not nervous about the planty things I need to do this morning. I'm just like, they all feel, because they're very big plants and they're all, I don't know, quite like statement plants. Like my monstera, I don't want anything to be wrong with it, but I know that something is not right. And I'm just scared that I don't have the equipment to be able to properly deal with it. So we're gonna just take things very slowly and hope that I can just get to the bottom of it pretty easily. I was gonna say, if not, I've got Emma, Good Growing, coming to stay with me next week, and she's gonna help me out with some pretty big repots. I really want to repot my euphorbias in the bedroom. They are ginormous now, and it's 100% a two-person job. So if the worst comes to the worst, I could always get Emma to help me with these if I do struggle today. But yeah, I am gonna just push the table back and put my potting mat here. I think what I'm probably gonna do is do my monstera evaluation here, and then I'm gonna take my yucca and potentially alocasia portadora, which is still out on the balcony, take them over to the kitchen, just because obviously they have been outdoors for a very long time and I just want to make sure that there's nothing nasty that I've brought in with them. So yeah, right, let's get the monstera out and let's just do it. It'll be fine. Just before I get into the pot of my monstera and look at the roots, I think I'm just going to take this opportunity to give the plant a wipe down, just because I haven't done it in ages. It's looking a bit dusty. It'll give me the chance to pest check as well. And I haven't got that much horticultural soap left, so I'm going to have to do half dish soap, half horticultural, but that should be fine. Yeah, even leaves like this just don't look, it doesn't look awful. It just doesn't look as plump and like hydrated as it should. I have watered this plant fairly recently. So yeah, even though it's only the lower leaves that are yellowing, there's definitely things going on in general. I can't see any pests though, which is good. So in order to keep this plant upright over the years, I put many a measure in place, and currently I've just kind of tied it to this bamboo cane and then tied strings to the pot. And in order to get the plant out and look at the roots, I am gonna have to chop all of this. Meaning that I'm gonna have to do quite a big stake job to try and get it back up again, which is not something I was planning for today. I completely forgot I'd done this. The positive thing though is that I can see healthy roots sticking through the bottom of the pot. Can you see there? Which makes me think that maybe this plant is just really, really root bound. I mean, actually, if you look at the size of the plant compared to the size of the pot it's in, it is desperately in need of a pot upgrade. So part of me is thinking maybe that's the only issue, and maybe it's just sacrificing leaves that it can't support because it hasn't had enough nutrients. I will have a look and see if I've got bigger pots. I'm not convinced I do, but it does look hopeful so far. I also must say that although this is a plant that produces crazy aerial roots, as you can see here, it doesn't actually need to be on a moss pole. I'd probably do better just encouraging all of these aerial roots back down into the soil and stake the plants, because as I say, these would go through any moss pole very, very quickly. If you were able to build like a full green wall with moss behind it, as the plant would probably grow in its natural habitat, then amazing. But otherwise, personally, an actual like mossy moss pole, in my opinion, not necessary. Soil has just gone all over the carpet. I completely missed the potting mat there. Yeah, so just look at those roots. Oh my God. This is actually at the point where I think maybe I'll need to cut the pot off the plant. Oh, so I might be better off getting a knife or wire cutters or something actually. I might be able to wheedle it through. I don't know yet. I will have to give it a go. But those roots look healthy, which is such good news. Yeah, okay. This very much explains why I was having issues. I honestly can't remember the last time I repotted this plant, but this is one that I propagated myself. It was one of the first plants that wasn't like a pothos plant that I propagated, I think at the beginning of, the beginning of lockdown. And I think I've only repotted it maybe once or twice since then, which obviously was like 5 years ago now, which is crazy. So not only does it need more space, but the soil it's in is probably very lacking in nutrition. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry about getting all of the soil off it, but I'm just going to get as much as I can kind of shake off it. Just make sure all the roots look okay. Maybe give them a slight prune. Root pruning can actually help to just increase the growth of your plant. So when it's got a massive root system like this, a little prune here or there is often quite a good idea. Wow, yeah, look at those roots. Those are amazing roots. And as I say, I'm not going to reuse this soil. I am just going to put it in a separate bag though, and I'll take it down to the compost. So the issue I've got is this is the pot it was in before, and this is the biggest nursery pot that I've got, which is only marginally bigger than this one. And in fact, I think it might just even be because this one's a bit taller, it looks bigger. I think they're probably the same size. So, short of getting in the car and going to the garden centre right now, which oh God, I really don't want to do. I think maybe I'm gonna have to do a kind of temporary repot. As I say, if I do some serious root pruning, take maybe a few inches off all of the roots, and then get rid of a bit of space in the pot by removing the moss pole. I think I'm probably gonna replace that if I can with a stake. And then just giving it obviously a fresh soil mix. I'm really excited to try out some of my new, God, it sounds so lame. I'm so excited to try my new soil. But it just feels really nice to have some new soil. So I'm gonna play about with that, make it nice and chunky. And then at least the plant will be getting all of the nutrients it needs. And then in the next few months, or even maybe before then, at some point soon when I get some new pots, in fact, maybe I'll order some tonight. Should probably do that. But I will come back to this plant and I will repot it again. It's not ideal, but I'm working with what I've got. So let's mix up some soil. I'm gonna just use some of the base mix I had from yesterday, and by the looks of it, it's already got lots of the lovely things I typically add in myself. I might just put a few extra worm castings and orchid bark in there just for a bit of chunkiness. But otherwise, I think that should be pretty perfect for that plant. the moss pole off. That was difficult to do. And now is the challenge of trying to stake the plant upright with a very thick stem. So I've staked it what I think is upright. Of course it's upright, what am I talking about? As in, I think I've staked it in a way that's gonna hold in an upright position. But obviously I can't tell until I get it potted up again. And I'm thinking maybe on the bottom of this pot. I know I don't want to, I don't want to add or take away too much room, but I want to add something a little bit heavier just to weight it, because this plant is insanely heavy. It might not look it because it's all foliage, but it's really, really heavy. Maybe I'm just gonna have to put it in a weightier cover pot. That might be the answer for the time being. But yeah, I'm gonna mix up that chunky mix now, and I'm gonna get it potted, and hopefully it will work. That has worked. However, I do need to reinforce the stake somehow, because as I say, the front of the plant is so heavy, it is just still going to pull it over, I think. So I think what I'll probably do is, let me move the camera and I can explain better if I show you. So I've currently just got the plant leaning up against my cabinet, but what I think I'll probably do is tie these two stakes to the pot like that, and then I will fashion some kind of tie that ties the pole to these, just so that they've got a bit of something kind of holding it up, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I did with the moss pole before, to be honest, and it did work. It definitely does just need some reinforcing. So yeah, let's give that a go. And if it doesn't work, we'll think of something else. Part of me is even thinking I could just stick them in the soil. And if that worked, boy, would that make life easier. The moment of truth will be when I spin it round and it doesn't have anything to lean against, whether or not it actually stays up by itself. So let's see. Yay, it's worked. Yay, amazing. Okay, I'm gonna just give it a little bit more soil. I'm gonna find a nice pot for it. So this pot here, that my monstera dubia, the bits that I chopped back was in, this is a really big pot, and although it's not massively weighty, it's got a very flat base, so I think as a cover pot for this plant, it might work quite well in just kind of keeping the plant stable. Also, because it is quite a bit bigger than the nursery pot I'm using, it does mean that when I water this plant, in theory, I should just be able to monitor the bottom of the pot to check that I don't overwater it. So we're gonna try it for now. As I say, this might be a fairly short-term thing because I do still think it would do better in a bigger pot, but I think this is gonna do the trick for the time being. I do need to sort something out that's a better solution than this plug just hanging here. I just put this there because I thought that maybe this plant was responding weirdly to the grow light and I wanted to try and kind of play about with things, but I will move that back. And usually I would go ahead and chop the leaves that are yellowing, but because of what I said earlier, and because I kind of want to see what happens, I think what I'm going to do instead is just chop the edges. Like if you have a look here, you can see the edges of the leaf are very yellow, but there is still quite a bit of green in there. So I'm just going to follow the natural pattern of the leaf round and just give it a little trim back. Do a full cleanup when I've finished, but what I think I'm gonna do now, so I've been debating what I'm gonna do with the yucca plant, and seeing as I don't have a bigger pot than the one I've just used for my Monstera deliciosa, I don't think there's much point in doing what I've just done for the Monstera unless I absolutely need to, just because that plant is already in such a big pot and it does need more room. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it through to the living room. I'm just going to lie it down and just have a peek at the roots and just check that they're okay, because what I'm thinking is I'll probably order, as I say, order some pots and then have that one on my list of big plants that I want to repot with Emma next week. I might just give its foliage a little tidy up, maybe give it a bit of a chop back. I think I'm going to just do that for now, to be honest, and then it can be a job for a few days' time. And then finally, I will also bring in my Alocasia portadora and get it out of its soggy, sodden soil and see if it's savable. I was doing some research on yucca plants last night, and I saw that apparently they can actually survive outside in up to like -10 degrees Celsius, which is really crazy. And like, I think because it's a tropical plant, it's just so much hardier than I ever thought it would be. Cause yeah, like in fact, I'll put some clips in so you can see, but these roots really don't look bad. Really don't look bad at all. I would have expected them to look so much worse. I can see the pot is like crazily bulging, so it's definitely going to be in need of a pot upgrade. But if the roots, I'm not going to get the whole thing out because I think it'll be a nightmare to get back in again, but if the roots down here are representative of the roots in the rest of the plant, honestly, I think it's going to be just fine. So I'm just going to get it back upright again, give it a prune back, give it a good wipe down, check for pests. I wouldn't have thought I'd have to worry about pests at this time of year considering it has been so cold outside, but still, since I'm bringing the plant back indoors, it's always good to check these things. Not a clue where I'm going to put this plant, if I'm being honest. I really don't know, but we'll figure that out. Again, similar to the monstera, I'm just kind of chopping around the yellow bits. I'm not necessarily lopping back the whole leaf if it doesn't need it. Also, some leaves have got really brown tips, which is completely to be expected. But again, just for aesthetic reasons, I'm just chopping them back, just so that the plant can immediately appear a little bit healthier. So I've just given her a bit of a tidy up and a prune back, and honestly, I can't believe how amazing this plant is doing. Like, I've got houseplants that I care for on a daily basis that live indoors that aren't looking as good as this plant, and this one has been on the balcony for months in frozen, stagnant water. It's just crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I mean, as I say, we'll need to find a space for this plant. It's undoubtedly gonna have to be the bedroom with some kind of grow light set up because I don't think there's anywhere else in this room it could possibly fit. But finally, I'm going to grab the Alocasia portadora. Oh my goodness, why I did that with bare feet, I don't know. It is so cold. So I brought a knife over as well as scissors because I feel like I may need to slice the top off this plant. But I'm gonna just straight away empty out the soil that's in here. Again, I'm not gonna keep it. It's been outside for God knows how long. I'm gonna empty it straight into the bag that I did before of the soil that I'm gonna compost. So in fact, I can't do that because this one is frozen solid currently, but that does mean I should be able to lift it up and show you quite easily. amazingly, there are actually some roots in there that look fine. I know there are quite a lot of brown ones. I was expecting the entire thing to be brown because alocasia is not one that does well in lower temperatures. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for this one to thaw out and defrost a bit, and then I will remove the soil. I'll probably remove most of the roots, just because I think I'd like to completely reset this plant. And in fact, the one thing that I can do, that I was gonna do anyway, is just literally chop the top off it. There we go. Yeah, and actually, you know what? I can see that there was a new leaf there getting ready to come up. So I think this one will actually bounce back pretty quickly, which I'm amazed about. This is probably the 6th or 7th time since owning this plant that I have completely chopped it back to nothing and started again. And it's a resilient one, you know? It's one that I've struggled with in some ways, but it is a very, very resilient plant. So yeah, I think I'll probably get it out of that and then put it into sphagnum moss and just see how it does. I can't, like, yeah, I really can't get over this. Like last night it was minus, I think it was -8 here. And I've got aloe veras and alocasias that are doing fine. So yeah, cool. Okay, I think I'm done for this video. Honestly, I feel pretty proud of myself. I'm not sure how much I will have cut this down, but I am very happy with how much I've got through. I feel like I have cleaned, I have organised, I've got on top of plant things. And although I've now got a bit of cleaning and tidying to do in this room, I'm just going into planty things moving forward, feeling much more on top. So yeah, if you were also doing things, whether or not they were planty, if they were just household stuff, whatever it is you were doing, I really hope you got loads done as well. If you want me to make more videos like this, then please let me know in the comments, because this is the sort of thing that really helps me. It's kind of like body doubling, feeling like you're doing it with someone else. So yeah, do let me know. And also, just in general, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see this year. What are your favourite kind of planty videos to watch? Because I'm content planning for the next kind of couple of months at the moment, and I would love to kind of take into account everything you actually want to see. But yes, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.
Stay sexy, plant lovers.